How are you? I'm Mr. Henry. I'm here to teach you civics. Remember last time we are discussing something to do with democracy. And if you try to recap, you find that I told you something to do with democracy, and I say the origin of the democracy is two words, that is demo and kratia. I say demo means people and kratia means rule or power. And also we talked something to do with the types of democracy. I said we have indirect democracy and direct democracy. And they say indirect democracy sometimes is called as representative democracy. And also we talked about indirect democracy, which is most applicable in Tanzania, especially in villages. Remember, I gave you questions to answer about that one, and make sure you answer those questions, because if you listen to me, you'll understand what I'm explaining here. Now, today I want us to pass through characteristics. Remember that time, last time I said we're going to pass through characteristics of democracy. Now, today let's pass through these characteristics of democracy. The characteristics of democracy, one is majority rule and minority right. Majority rule and minority right is one of the characteristics of democracy. What is majority rule? Majority rule, we are talking about people's power to decide. People's power to decide. That means in majority rule, you find that if there is a certain decision to be made, it's supposed to be done by many people. That's the meaning of majority rule. Many people have got power to decide on some matters concerning the government, but also with something to do with minority right. Minority right means those few people who have not even voted. Let's say there's a voting. There's some people who cannot vote yes. Now, if those people who don't vote yes, and that means those people who don't vote yes are not supposed to be ignored. They're supposed to be listened to. Even if they say something different from majority, that means their rights are to be observed. Therefore, in democracy, we talk about majority rule, that means the decision of many, but even those few people who might be different from other people or might oppose other many people, they must be also respected. That's their views or rights are also to be respected. That's to do with majority rule and minority right. Now, also we have another one, that is citizen power and participation. This is another characteristic of democracy: citizen power and participation. Remember that when we're talking about democracy, we said about the power of the people or the rule of the people. Therefore, in this number 2, we talk about citizen power and participation. Here we talk about citizens having power to decide, having power to make decisions, having power to give opinion, views in different matters concerning the government. But also, they have power to participate. Participate in what? Participate in voting. Participate in what? Participate in giving out their views, giving out their opinions, but also giving some ideas which may be practical or may be used to make the government move. And we have number 3, we have observation of human right. One of the things which show that the country is observing democracy is human right observation. Human rights observation. Remember that in grade 3, 4, 5, 6, we have discussed about various human rights. Now I know you know the human rights. One of the human rights is the right to life, right to express yourself, right to worship, and various. There are about almost 30 human rights which have been explained in the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania. But now when you talk about democracy, in order to get the country, in order to know that the country is exercising democracy, one of the things which is observed is observation of human rights. That means the human rights must be observed. People have to be given the chance to vote freely. People have to vote, but also people have to be given the chance to speak. People are not supposed to be silenced. People are not supposed to be silenced. They're supposed to be given the right to speak. If they have some observation about the government, if they have something to comment, something to give to the government as an idea, they're also free to express, as far as they don't violate the rules of the government. But also people are free to worship. That's also one of the human rights. I'm saying we have almost 30 human rights which can be explained, but now we have just explained some. And this is to do with observation of human rights. But another characteristic of democracy is political tolerance. What is political tolerance? We say political tolerance is a situation whereby the people who are opposing the government, the people who are opposing the government, let's take an example of the opposition party. They're supposed to be listened. But also we can talk about the ruling party. Let's say Tanzania has the CCM, which is the ruling party. But also we have some other parties which are opposing the ruling party, like Chadema, CAF, and Chadema, CAF, and some other parties. Now, when we talk about political tolerance, we say that sometimes, let's say an example of a leader, when a certain leader of a certain opposition party has said something to criticize the government, or has got an opinions or a view about the government, other members of a certain party, or let's say the ruling party, must listen to him. They're supposed to be tolerant, to listen. They're not supposed to criticize. They're not supposed to insult or to do any other thing which is going to be against their freedom to express. Now, that is to do with political tolerance. Now, in Tanzania, we have sometimes we might have some of the meetings or rallies whereby the political parties members are meeting to discuss various matters concerning the government. But now, the ruling party is supposed also to tolerate that situation. Sometimes they may say something to criticize the government. The ruling party must be and is supposed to tolerate that situation, and that's called political tolerance. Thank you very much for today. I hope you have understood those 4 characteristics of democracy which I've explained: majority rule and minority rights, citizen power and participation, observation of human rights, but also the political tolerance. See you next time on the next lesson. God bless you and have a good